Greetings, programs. Welcome to the grid. I am Sark, and today our game is files and folder management in Windows environments using 3D Studio Max 2020. Very exciting, but apparently this is privileged information, and I think it should be shared. So here I have a simple A to B animation. I'm going to save my 3D Studio Max file. So I go to File, Save As. I choose the place to put it. Now I don't just put it wherever it's pointing. It happens to be pointing at CDisk, Users, my username, Documents, 3ds Max, Scenes. That's not a convenient place for me. I like to make a mess on the desktop and then clean it up once a year. So I'm going to go to Desktop, and I'm going to save it here. But now, it's important to understand Desktop is a place. It is a place in the C disk drive. Right? So, let's show you. This is our file name. We'll just say animation01 and press save. Now I hit File Reset. I've got nothing here. If I want to open it again, I have to navigate back to this place. I choose File, Open, and it may not be pointed where I saved it. Right? It'll be pointed, well, there's a number of reasons for why it may be pointed other places. But I can click Desktop and find it. But it's also important to understand I can navigate my way there. I can navigate from Computer, which is at the highest level. It's like deciding which country you're in. And then which disk, okay, that's like which state. And then which folder underneath that, well, I think it was Users, and then my username, and then Desktop, right? So it's like a street address. You've got to remember each step along the way to remember where you put something. Here it is, animation01. Now, of course, it's very convenient, very easy to just click Desktop. That's why I saved it there. But it's important to know that when you're saving something, it's not saved in 3D Studio Max, right? It's saved in a place on a disk device that can be accessed with Windows file directories. So I'm just very frustrated with people saying, oh, I just saved it in Photoshop. Because that's what they were working at the time that they pressed the save button. It is not the same thing as knowing where it went. So hopefully that makes things a little clearer. Now, if I open this up, I have an animation. But I don't have a video file. If I want to export this so other people can see it, people who don't have 3D Studio Max, I have to go up to Rendering, choose Render Setup, give it a name, decide how many frames I want. I want all of them active, 0 to 100. So I got to give it a file name. We'll just call it Animation01. It's important that it not be saved as a .max file. It's got to be saved as an AVI or some other video format. Render that. Not too awful long. I've got a pretty decent system. All right. Now, here it is on the desktop. All right. Another way to get there is to navigate through the Windows file folder. This can be accessed by typing Explore, Windows Explorer, not Internet Explorer. You don't want that. You want Windows Explorer. And then you can navigate to your desktop. You click Desktop. There's all the stuff that's on my desktop. Go to CDisk, Windows, Users, right? Was it CDisk? CDisk Users, username, Desktop, bounce.avi, right? Or animation.avi, as opposed to the 3ds Max scene file. So if you double click the AVI file, you probably have Windows Media Player installed, and it's going to open up and it's going to look something like this, right? So that's how it opens. It's different than if I click this one. That's going to launch another instance of 3ds Max. So it's just very important to pay attention to where you're putting things, where you're getting them from, how you name things. When I save a sequence of 3ds Max files, I've been working on a project for a long time, I'll always click Save As, and then I'll press this little plus sign here. What that does for me is now I have animation 02, right? And if I click Save As again, I hit the plus sign again. If I manage to hit it, new mouse, animation 03, right? So in this way, you can save your work incrementally. If something horrible, catastrophic happens to your file, you've got thousands of objects in there, you've been animating them, you've been working on them, and you lose the file. You don't lose the whole thing. You only lose like a couple hours work because you've been saving in increments. So there's some advice about files and folders and how to save things and how to open them. Good day.